italien. Tu sais, le restaurant italien juste là.
Ouais. Ah, c'est bon.
C'est bon, c'est plus cher un peu, mais c'est bon. Je suis allé là. Moi, j'ai passé devant, je suis stationné juste là.
Moi, je suis
Puis,
stationné.
j'ai faim, moi, je m'en vais à la maison.
Okay. Mais j'ai à la maison, je te regarde dans la chambre. Là, j'ai quelque chose qui acheter de maison. Ça va sur Facebook.
Ah, ben c'est bon.
Qu'est-ce que c'est ça?
C'est manifestation contre le fait que Sue Montgomery, un des candidats, est impliqué dans l'utilisation, dans le cover-up de l'abus de clergé dans l'Église unitaire. Au courant de certaines choses, et aussi elle était directement impliquée dans...
Je pense que...
She's also implied in the women who are silent there. Silence no more.
Being raped, never reported. Mais ça, c'est la chose qui est...
Elle travaille pour sensibiliser les gens qu'elle en fait pour le comprendre.
Mais l'autre chose, non, mais c'est extrêmement hypocrite d'être pour les victimes des viols dans la public et d'essayer de cacher ça dans votre église.
Oui, je pense que...
Oui, elle fait ça. Je peux le prouver facilement. Il y a des documents.
Merci.
It is Tuesday, the 11th of August, 2015. I'm in front of the NDP riding office and NDG Westmount riding. And Montreal Unitarian and former Montreal Gazette Justice reporter Sue Montgomery is running or wants to be a candidate for the NDP in NDG Westmount. And I'm here just to let the NDP members who will be voting on who to represent them in NDP Westmount, but also to let the general public know that Sue Montgomery is implicated in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy misconduct. And in particular, Sue Montgomery is implicated, or at least I should say complicit in, I could even say implicated, but definitely complicit in the attempted cover-up and denial of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers. The Unitarian Universalist Association, you might want to get a shot of this. They don't seem the least bit interested in documenting this protest. Now, they may have some legitimate excuses for that. There may be another story that they have to go to cover and they just don't have time. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, on the other hand, if they do have some spare time, mainstream media, when they see something, you know, even if they didn't get a press release, if they see something of possible newsworthy interest, they should at least have a little chat with the person, but this isn't happening right now.
He's too funny. Usually that's not how it works.
No, he sounds like a decent guy.
So anyway, getting back to what I was saying earlier, Sue Montgomery, former Gazette Justice reporter, knows that the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations in Boston hired Stikeman Elliott, barristers and solicitors litigation lawyer, Maitre Marc-André Coulombe, to falsely accuse me of a criminal act of blasphemous libel in Bill Cosby-style legal bullying. That's obviously intended to cover up and hide the fact that certain Unitarian Universalist ministers have engaged in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, to borrow two choice phrases from the arrogant and aggressive cease and desist demand letter that Maitre Marc-André Coulombe had me served with. And these Unitarian Universalist ministers, the ones I blogged about, actually were convicted of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. There's no question that they were guilty, at least in terms of a court of law. But Stikeman Elliott, barristers and solicitors, on behalf of the Unitarian Universalist Association, falsely claimed that my blog posts about these convicted rapists, one of whom could be properly described as a pedophile rapist, were unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. The key word in that being unfounded. But there's nothing the least bit unfounded about my blog posts about Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and rapists. I asked Sue Montgomery to responsibly report this newsworthy story in December of 2012, about 6 months after I was falsely accused. I may have asked earlier, I certainly contacted the Gazette, city desk and so on, but I ran into Sue Montgomery at a vigil for basically a protest against violence against women that she was reporting on, and I told her specifically about what I've just spoken about, how the UUA was falsely accusing me of blasphemous libel in an effort to cover up such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. I made it very clear that I thought this was the kind of story that the Montreal Gazette Justice reporter should report, but she did not do so because she's a Montreal Unitarian. Sue is a member of the Unitarian Church of Montreal and obviously not too keen on reporting the fact that her religious community has attempted to misuse Canada's blasphemy law in clergy abuse, cover-up, and denial. So we're just going to, do a little protest here and try to make it clear to NDP members that Sue Montgomery is a bit of a problematic candidate. Her integrity and honesty is certainly called into question. In addition to being, complicit with, but to some extent actively involved in the Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy abuse, Sue Montgomery, when I began protesting, because I began displaying this protest sign in early December of last year, or possibly even late November, but certainly in early December, I was protesting with this picket sign. In fact, on December 4th, I was protesting in front of La Tulipe on Papineau Street when a bailiff came up and served me with another cease and desist demand letter. This one was from Gowling, Henderson, Lafleur media lawyer, Mark Batty, and this cease and desist demand letter essentially falsely accused me of libeling Sue Montgomery for telling the truth about her. The Mark Batty letter, which by the way is available on the internet, and so by the way are the letters from Stikeman Elliott, barrister and solicitor's litigation lawyer, Maitre Marc-André Coulombe. Both of those letters, digital photographs of them are available on the internet. You just have to run appropriate search terms and you should find them. Or you could just go to Twitter and have a look at the photographs that are associated with the hashtags that Sue Montgomery is using for her campaign, such as Sue for NDP, that's the number 4, SUE, number 4, NDP, Sue Go NPD for the French version, and Sue pour NPD, so SUEPOUR NPD. If you check the photographs and also the videos associated with those hashtags on Twitter, you will find photographs of the documents and videos and so on. I'm just going to check the camera to make sure it's still running. Yeah, we're still recording here, so I just want to be quite sure the camera is still running. And doesn't seem to be a huge turnout, but I have a feeling that this event, I don't think it's even supposed to start properly until 7 o'clock. I got here a little on the early side, I think. It might have started at 6, it's a possibility, but I'm pretty sure it starts at 7. Okay, I just walked a little bit to my right and showed the sign facing into the building and saw Sue Montgomery looking back at me. So Sue Montgomery has seen the sign. She's seen it before, but this is the first time she's seen it tonight. She's inside the building. She's wearing a bright orange one-piece dress type thing, and she didn't look too happy to see me. Anyway, we're just going to continue with a little protest here and walk back and forth a bit. Functions, it runs for about 17 minutes, hiccups, and then runs for another 13 or so, doing a half hour at a time, but with a hiccup after 17 minutes. So I'm probably going to end before it hits the 17-minute mark and take a couple of still photos on the self-timer. So I'm going to just check the time now and see how it's doing. Well, we were at a lucky 13 minutes. We have 4 minutes of tape left, as it were. Good day, sir. I will probably shut down the camera very, very soon and take some still photos and then go back to recording my protest. The other side of this picket sign says Unitarian perversion justice sucks new aspects of youth. And of course this refers to Unitarian perversion of justice in a much more general sense. Most ironically, this picket sign slogan actually existed before the Unitarian Universalist Association tried to pervert justice by falsely accusing me of a criminal act of blasphemous libel in an effort to cover up and hide such despicable crimes, pedophilia and rape, committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers. To say nothing of Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers, also known as religious educators, and Unitarian Universalist lay leaders. So this picket sign slogan pre-existed the Unitarian Universalist attempt to accuse me, well, they actually did accuse me, but basically threatened to have me charged with the criminal act of blasphemous libel. What's interesting is it actually applies very nicely to the perversion of justice that Gazette Justice reporter Sue Montgomery is herself directly and personally guilty of. Sue, in addition to trying to shut down my protest in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal with abusive uses of the Canadian Criminal Code, and also repeatedly calling SPVM police to the scene to try and have me ticketed and so on. Sue's cease and desist demand letter, which falsely accuses me of libeling her for telling the truth about her, is a Unitarian perversion of justice. On that note, we're going to wrap up this clip.